Welcome to another edition to Motivational Sundays with Kevin and friends. Hey, this show was originally created from the one of more than 300 motivational quotes I had created for the contents of my books. I also studied human behavior, but when I got around my friends, I was always curious. How does one quote land on another? Were there words that just laid there on a page, or were there a conversation to be had? So I got together with my co-hosts Danielle, Denise, Lois, Christopher, and Gilda, and the voice of our show, Otis. And then I sat there and we sat down with Mr. DM, Mr. Dwayne Morton, and then all the way from the West Coast, we brought in Tara Elizabeth, and we talked about these quotes. So every Sunday we meet at 9 a.m. We're probably the only show that, you are listeners, so you can come in as long as you bring something positive. Every day at Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we toss out a quote, and we're just curious on how one person's interpretation or perspectives and how that quote lands on them. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to the voice because Tara brought us an amazing quote by Arthur Ashe. So if you don't mind, Otis, with that silky smooth voice of yours, will you share the quote with the audience, please?
Grand Rising all, happy Sunday. Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome.
By tennis great Arthur Ashe, we're celebrating Black History Life Month, year, day, second, however you want to do it. And we're also celebrating the voice of our show, celebrating his birthday. So those of you that are tuning in, you hear this, you get to wish Otis happy birthday 365 days this year in 2025. It's just not one day. His voice and his presence exemplifies the success of this show. So, Tara, Elizabeth, how does this quote land on you?
What this quote means to me, I have learned so much about myself when it came to overcoming obstacles, self doubt, lack of motivation, other people's expectation, fear of failure, ignoring the voices in my head saying I can't do this, and prioritizing myself first. I guess I'm saying all this to say success for me was always more about becoming my best self through the experiences, lessons, mentors, guidance, and the realization that failure is a part of the journey. And when you reach that pinnacle of success, whatever that may be, whether it be a professional goal, a personal accomplishment, starting a business, or finishing a degree, the process should make us wiser, stronger, and more resilient. The sweetness isn't necessarily the final destination. It is always and always will be in the journey.
Well said. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is the first Kev talk. All right. She's just delivered an amazing talk. Tara Elizabeth, we can end the show now. I mean, I don't know who wants to follow that, but you know something? I know one person over there, my brother from another mother, Mr. Dwayne Morton. I know you got something today. How's that quote land on you?
Yeah, so for me, it lands different because I believe that life is, the destination can be changed all the time. So success always is adaptable and we change all the time. So for me, as a young boy, all I wanted to do was play basketball. So that was the ultimate goal was just to make the basketball team every year. So all those were just different goals, but the destination of that little boy was just to make the team. So it was just but truly it's the journey on everything because the journey has all those other type of goals in it. And so I always talk about a runner's mentality approach to things. It's really just doing the thing. The destination will show up. It's just going into the right direction. That's all I need. I need the right direction to get to the destination. I don't need to focus on the destination. When you focus on the destination, that's going to bring you anxiety. You want to stay in the present because that's truly the gift.
Oh, let me tell you, we're on fire right now. Tara, you brought something. We on fire. I mean, you know something? I'm carrying the gasoline and you guys are carrying the flame, and you guys are blowing up right now. I am loving this. I hope our listeners are having a party with this quote dancing around with it and trying to talk about success, ignoring the goals and looking at the experience is one step at a time. You ever see a footprint in the stand and never think about where it began instead of concentrate on where it ended? I don't know about you, but Lois Campbell, all right? I'd love to hear how you interpret this quote.
Happy Sunday to all. So, what's true yesterday is not necessarily true today. It's like you have to do a constant remaking of self, and there'll always be days, snowy days to get to your destination. There'll be valleys, there'll be steepness, tracks, haters, people who means you well, but you stay focused on your destination. There'll always be bumps in the road, but then there's the smooth sailing. You've gotten to your destination. So keep focused.
All right. So,
Thank you.
Otis, all right, 70 years, young today. You've had a lot of life experiences. I'm not going to ask you your quote, but I'm going to be pounding on you all day long because we are so grateful. I can't wait to see what the next 10 years of our relationship and your experience in this show brings us. But if you don't mind, before Denise gives us her share, um, repeat the quote for us one more time, and that's that sexy voice.
Success
Can I
is a
say,
journey.
wait a minute, can I say sexy or has that been outlawed or banned right now? All right, because I don't know. Every single day I wake up and something's changed. So I don't want to break any laws or whatever, but I'm still going to say, go ahead and say something sexy.
Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome.
All right, Denise. Is the doing more important than the outcome?
Hey, bon dia, good morning. I missed being here. I'm sorry I missed. I couldn't be on the screen. That's why my headaches. For me, this reminds me of my grandmother. She used to say, like Dwayne said, be in the present. She said, what you do today determines your future, determines your tomorrow. So focus, be present. And for me, I've been through a lot, like when it comes to accomplishing goals, like learning English was one of my goals. And when I came at 14, I'm like, I'm never going to learn this language. And after I had to think back what my grandmother say, focus on today, learn a little bit today. And I finally learned the language, but that when I was learning, because I was doing it every day, I was practicing every day. I didn't notice I was learning English until some of my classmates were talking bad about me in English, and I understood what they were saying. So that's when it was like practice every day. Practice makes it better. Like if you have a goal, focus on it. Like some time every day, even 20, 30 minutes a day is going to help you to accomplish your goal. And you have to enjoy the journey. Like everybody says, you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it because if you keep focusing, that's when depression is going to come. That's when you're going to have the imposter syndrome. No, I don't belong here. I can't do it. And for me, it's like stay in the present, enjoy the moment, and just give your best every day.
Your best every single day. And you talk about some people going through some stuff. Any time you can survive a head-on crash in a car and show up on this show looking
Thank you.
fabulous if impossible. That just shows you that God has a different plan for you. And
Yeah.
before I go to my brother Christopher over here, it's funny with this quote. I've heard two famous people talk about success. Jim Carrey talked about, his success after having everything and being able to go any place that he wanted to go and whatever. He goes, "What is left?" Will Smith. I don't know how many people are still fans of him, but I think the brother has accomplished a lot. He's gone through some stuff, and we all need to find grace and once Chris Rocks takes his boxing lessons and decides to go ahead and defend himself, we're still going to be, the jury's going to be out on that conversation. But Will Smith even said that once you have everything, what do you really have? And so he says, how do you define success? And with that said, Christopher, you've been all over this world, serving our country, and my hat goes off to you. because I just watched Red Tails, and it's a reminder, at least for me, when you look at this country and you think about how this country began, we think it's red, white, and blue. I'm going to tell you, we put up the Jamaican flag. Every single thing that's been of importance in this life and appreciate to this country has been contributed by someone that looks like one of us on this platform. So when we want to know the true value of success, look at your neighbor today. All right, Christopher, how's this quote land on you?
I don't think Grand Rising. Gil reminds me. Grand Rising, everyone. Before I start talking, no, I forgot what I was going to say. No,
Pitching Gilda.
um, as a kid, I can remember saying, I mean, over and over again, "Are we there yet?" And I guess at some point, I really took that saying to heart because when I look at this quote, the first thing that um, I realize when it comes to me is I'm not there yet. Um, the journey has been absolutely glorious. I've done things that I thought I would never do. I've accomplished things that I thought were way beyond my ability. Um, and when I sit around and look at all the things that I have managed to do, I still wonder, my goodness, what person did this? When I think about a journey, I have to tell myself I'm not there yet. Um, I'll will I recognize that place that I'm supposed to be? I hope so. I hope if nothing else, someone says you're finally here. Congratulations. But as far as my life has been so far and all the things that I've done, um, one funny thing did sort of spring into my mind. In the military, it, it was always the destination. It was never the journey. You can picture in your mind a squad of people in an armored personnel carrier with nothing but the guy in front of them to look at. And then the door springs open, green light comes on, you're out and you're executing that mission. A good deal of my life has been the military. And that military mindset of the only thing that's important between here and where you have to be is getting to where you have to be. The trip itself is a blank slate, a dark room. Um, I I don't know, retired from the military, and I threw off a whole lot of stuff. One of them was that mindset, that um, journey to the destination mindset. Um, and as a result of that, I've done a lot of things, finished my degree, uh, watched a bunch of grandkids and great grandkids come into the world. I'm convinced that I'm not there yet. I'm not at where I'm going to be, where I have to be, where I'm destined to be. And as far as the journey, it's been great. I love it. My goodness. If you spoke to the 6 year old me, he would have a list of things that he wanted to do. I think I've accomplished them all. And 6 year old me is very happy. Um, but I'm not there yet.
Not there yet. And I don't think any of us are where we want to be right now, but right now we're where we need to be. So I'm glad we're getting the world ready for you. And thank you for all that you have brought to this show, your kindness, your friendship, all 6 foot something of being something special. You're much appreciated. Yeah, every time I see Chris, I'm going, I wish I was tall and lean because he looks so good in his clothes. When you're 5'11", you're just tall enough to be noticed. But but Chris is something else. So Danielle, with Danielle Corbin, another one of our educators, and I failed to announce the fact that Denise is putting it down. and growing the next generation and overcoming all those obstacles that our education system puts in front of you. And you guys are warriors. I'm going to tell you, Wakanda. Ooh, girl. All right. You guys are wearing the uniform. So Danielle, how does this quote land on you?
Grand Rising, everyone. First of all, Kevin, 5'11". At 5'2", I long to be seen. If I was 5'11", you couldn't talk to me, okay? Anyway, hello, everyone. This quote lands differently for me because I value the people that I meet and the connections that I make on the journey. Those people create opportunities for me to be a part of their journey as well. And it creates this lasting memory of encouragement and motivation, and you aren't doing it by yourself. So I look forward to those doing it moments because I always meet someone that's smarter than me, and they touch my heart and leave this lasting memory that always reminds me that this journey is definitely part of my purpose. That's how the quote lands on me.
That's all right. All right. Part of your purpose. We all have to be present. And once we discover what our purpose is in life, the reason why we do what we do in life, life starts to begin. And until then, you exist in a world that you have not controlled yet. So to all you listeners, find out what your purpose is, or attach yourself to something that has a greater purpose than serving yourself until you discover what your true purpose is. And so, with that said, a person with very few words, and I know I'm going to be surprised today because she's going to say more than one or two words. Gilda James, how does this quote land on you?
Grand Rising. Now, this quote lands on me. Success is found in the journey. That's what it is. Success is found in the journey.
Right. Success is found in the journey, like the footprints in the sand.
That's right.
There's a beginning and there's an end. It depends on how you follow it. So things are going on in my head. I was so excited when Para um, brought the quote and that gave me something to think about. And I went right, I went left, I tossed it up, dropped it a couple of times, I picked it back up, looked at it again, chewed on it a little bit. Like I said, at one point, got a can of gasoline in one hand and a match in another. And because of the way life is going, I'm going, do I blow it up now or do I just wait to see what happens? And but nothing ever happens to people that's waiting to see what happens because lifetime tends to pass you by. So with the birthday boy on here, I'm thinking that Christopher said if he was to talk to his 6-year-old self, maybe we should do a whole show of each one of us. We had to revisit and educate our 16 or 17-year-old self. What message would we send? I know I used to have a little sarcastic wit and says, my 16-year-old self was young and dumb. I would just tell him, you know, just to do his own thing. But I got a different message as I become a little wiser. Maybe we should do that show next week. And I'll ask you at the end of the show. But Otis, if you don't mind delivering the quote one more time. And then for those of you, anytime we hear Otis delivering a quote, the show is coming to an end. So if you got to get in your Sunday best or whatever, I said, hold off putting on your shoes and listen to Otis. Otis, go ahead, do your thing. And happy birthday again, King.
Thank you. Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome. But before I go on to my version of the quote, it's a quick thank out to Gilda and Chris, helping my cousin and myself direct some young performers to do a show, The Stories of Hope and Acts of Faith, on March 2nd at the North Parish Church in Andover. And our helping these performers do this show is helping them for their journey of success, which then also helps us be successful for what we've accomplished. But my version of the quote today is, the journey of success is being written every day of your life. All your good days, your bad days, those laughs, those cries. It's that dash on your gravestone. It's the day you were born until the day you die. To make the most important things out of every single day of your life. Make a difference in your life and somebody else's. And that's how it landed on me.
Look at that. And I feel very confident in saying at 70 years oldest, from the day that you came on, you have been a inspiration. You have been the anchor to this show. And if I can speak for everyone on this show, we love you at 70 years
Thank
old.
you.
We love you. And you're such a dynamic brother. I am so glad that God put us in the same space. So I guess, we're listening to all of these amazing interpretations of this wonderful quote that the lovely Tara has brought us to today. And I know some of us are trying to stay warm, and some of us are trying to stay out of the heat, and some of us are holding on to our Amazon Prime account and trying not to empty the cart today. We're all trying to make a difference. But how this quote landed on me, it was kind of heavy because I've had two times in my life that I had to reteach myself to read. And each time I read a book on all the places we would go by Dr. Seuss. I know some of us feel a certain type of way because, he made some decisions that weren't popular. But, this is part of my experience, part of my journey. When I started to put words back together and discover who I am, I had to read all the places we would go. And so when you talk about the places you would go and you talk about success, the way that I see this, I think about the process of achieving something, the experiences and lessons that I've learned along the way are the most valuable things versus reaching my goal. The reality is what's really at the end of the rainbow. Do we question the seven colors? Do we really want to find that pot of gold, or do we really want to go on that journey? It's all a state of mind to me. You will always have a beginning. And just like the way that I write books, I write the end first, so I have someplace to go. The experience of the journey of the conversation I have, that's where it provides me with my level of success. So I say to each and every last one of you, and no matter what your perspectives or your interpretation is on this quote, focus less on the outcome. Appreciate the experience and the people that cross your ways. Because when you have everything, what do you really have? And what you really have is the person that was on that journey, that vacation with you, that person that broke bread with you, that person that held your hand when you needed someone to hold your hand, the person that said, I love you, and looked in your eyes and says, you're the one. That person says, I got you when you started to doubt yourself. That person when you were sick on your bed that made soup and knowing they couldn't cook, but they watched you eat it in anyway. That person that just called you, just before they were about to go to school and said, what's up? I was thinking about you. When you look at success in life, it's your experiences in the beginning and your journey along the way. The end is going to come, and none of us are going to be here to talk about the end, but it's your journey. So enjoy the ride. All right. Coming from the mindset messenger, carrying the gasoline and the match today. Don't get me started. There's a lot going on in this world, but I will say that for those that are making decisions to grow, you must make mistakes. And for those that are making these mistakes, I said, stop growing. All right. To have confidence, you must address your anxieties. And for those of you that are so confident, leave us alone because you're creating anxieties. To forgive yourself, you must hold yourself accountable. Remember what I said. You're messing up the world. Hold yourself accountable. To learn, you must unlearn some stuff. Repeating history is not good common sense. It's effing up the world. To exist, you must show up more. You don't even have to show up. I'm feeling a certain kind of way this morning, so I'm taking the show in a whole nother direction. To understand the power of your words, you have to be kind. You have to have a mindset that brings people together. And this is coming from the mindset messenger. Tara, I thank you so much for bringing this quote. I thank each and every last one of you for showing up every single Sunday. Please forgive my tirade on and my sarcasm. Hopefully, someone finds humor in it. Hopefully, someone gets the message. But I also want to thank my listeners for tuning in every single Sunday. If you want to be a guest, go to RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page. Within the show description, there is a link. I'm here as long as you bring something positive. I'm not an example of the words that I'm preaching today, but I'm trying to be. And I just want everyone to enjoy life. And if we have to stop shopping at certain places and whatever, I will also say, let me add my 2 cents in. If you really want to hurt them, stop buying gas for 2 weeks and see what happens. All right, carpool. All right, love you all. Until next time. All right, thank you for joining in on another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. My grandfather always says, when you get to a place that you can help someone out, he said it's your duty to do so. Christopher, he said, reach one, teach one. And we do what?
Fade black.
Fade to black. And we're out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you.